this God here. Now King James said, may he remember all your offerings. So there are times God remembers your sacrifice. There are times you are in trouble. The only thing that can set you free that day is what you have done on the altar. Isaiah came to tell Hezekiah, you will die. Okay? If you ask me, apart from Jesus, who else do you want to talk to in the Bible? There are 3 people I will request to see in the Bible. It's okay, apart from Jesus, 3 people you want to see in the Bible. There are 3. Number 1, David. I want to see David. I want to know what made this bad boy a man after God's heart. You know, we know the good story of David, sir, but there is a bad side of him. David was so bad, so bad, that he could see a man's wife, kill the man, took over the wife. That's how bad he was. He was so bad that even his pastor said, I won't give you communion because I know you are messing up with women. He said, oh God, now 3 days ago I touched woman last, so give me the thing. That's how bad David was. And then God said, he's a man after my heart. That's not the one that moved me, sir. The one that moved me, Pastor K, is that the angel that came to Mary told Mary, the child you will give birth to will answer Jesus, David. He will sit on the throne of his father, David, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Why didn't David answer Jesus, Abraham? Why didn't Jesus answer Jesus, Abraham? He answers Jesus, David. And he said, of his kingdom there shall be no end. So even when Jesus comes back for the millennial reign, the throne he will sit on is still called the throne of David. I want to see David and ask him, how did you do it? The second person I want to see, if you ask me, in the Bible, is Job. Many people don't like Job because the only thing they see is the trouble side of Job. But Oga, if there is anybody that understood God so much, it was Job. Job understood God so much that when everything... Let me bring it to your notice, sir. The Bible said Job was the richest man in the East. Now, presently, the place you call the East is the entire Asia continent. Now, imagine the man being the richest man in Asia. Remember, the Prince of Saudi is there. At least, even if you don't remember anybody, the prince, somebody that would be richer than the royal family of Saudi. That's how rich Job was. And then one day, everything Job had, he lost everything. The wife said, Job, curse God and die. He looked at the wife and said, is God not the God of good and bad? Will we always receive good and not receive bad? If good comes, we enjoy. If bad comes, we wait for God. The next day, the wife said, Job, curse God and die. Job said to his wife, if a man dies, shall he live again? All the days of my trouble, I will wait till my change comes. The other day, the wife said, Job, are you mad? Curse this God and die. Job said to the wife, there is hope for a tree. When it is cut down, through the scent of water, it will sprout up again and bring forth fruit. The wife said, Job, I don't say you demand. His friends gathered, Job, why don't you curse God and die? Job said to the friend, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. They said, Job, this thing not enter your head. One day, Job asked them, Job said to them, you are talking like you know when God stretched the heavens. Are you the one who put the pillars that are holding the earth? In chapter 29 of Job, Job said to his friend, he said, if it were when I was Job, will you talk to me like that? When the light of God was upon my head, when the rock poured me oil, when I battered my feet in butter, when I walk on the street, the noble hide their face, the princes run away, the wise men hold their mouth. If it was that time, can you talk to me? The next day the friends came, Job, curse God and die. Job said, even though my flesh is taken away, I know my Redeemer liveth, and one day he shall stand on the earth. Job, this thing don't enter your head. Job said to them, he has swallowed down riches. He will vomit it out again. For God will cast it out of his belly. Job knew that it was Satan that swallowed his riches, and God will take it out from him. I want to see Job and ask him, what gave you the confidence even in the midst of trouble? The third person I will want to see is Isaiah. That's where I'm coming to. Isaiah was so deep in the prophetic, sir, that Isaiah prophesied what will happen 800 years. Isaiah prophesied about Jesus 800 years before Jesus came. And to show you how powerful Isaiah was, sir, Isaiah mentioned the village the name he will answer, the kind of spirits that will be operational in him. Everything about Jesus, Isaiah said it. Isaiah stated his mission, his assignment, everything. Isaiah gave it 800 years earlier. Oga, it was the same prophet who came to Hezekiah and told Hezekiah, you will die. If Isaiah tells you you will die, you will die. As soon as Isaiah finished prophesying and left, Hezekiah said, no, now the Lord hear me in the day of trouble. May he remember all my offering. God, you are wicked. I've used my money to do church, do everything. Now I want to enjoy small. You want to kill me. God, now what for you? Why Hezekiah was still talking? God went to the road, double-crossed Isaiah. I said, Isaiah, I changed my mind. Go back to Hezekiah. Tell him I have given him 15 more years. The Lord hear you in the day of trouble. May he remember all you are offering. Lift your right hand and say, God, remember my offerings. So sir, next time it looks like things are not working, remind God. When was the last time you sat down with God and put him in remembrance of your commitments? Are you still in church? Sir, you see, until you get to that point where you start relating with God as a father, where you start relating with God as your biological father. Say, God, Papa, you know the money you gave me last time, I didn't use it to do Dorimeo. They were building in church, I gave them. Those sisters in church that didn't have a house, I paid their rent. That woman that the husband died, I helped pay her children's school fees. Now I'm broke. Are you happy? Look at how people are waiting for somebody to pay. When was the last time you spoke to God like that? May he remember all your offerings. May he remember all your offering. One of the greatest stories I saw in the Bible was the story of the centurion. The Bible said this guy built a church single-handedly. Built a church, finished building the church. Years later, his servant was sick to the point of death. And he sent for Jesus. Jesus, my servant is sick. Can you come and pray for him? Jesus said, I'm not coming. Jesus said, I'm not coming. He went to the church, called the elders of the church. He said, I'm not saying I build this house for now. If I collect, I'm not going to go do church again. I'm not going to go tell Jesus, my servant is dying. Let him come and pray for him. The elders of the synagogue went to Jesus. Jesus, that man that called you, he needs you to come to his house. Jesus said, I'm not going. They said to Jesus, Jesus, he deserves it. Jesus said, why do you think he deserves it? They said, Jesus, he loves our nation. Jesus said, hey, everybody loves our nation. They said, Jesus, his own love is different. Jesus said, why? Say, Jesus, that church you preached yesterday, now the man built them. He built us a synagogue. Immediately Jesus heard he built us a synagogue. Jesus said, let's go to his house. May he remember all your offerings. When was the last time you reminded God, remember my offering, remember what I did, remember what I did. May he remember. And then he said, may he, the way message wrote it, he said, exclaim at your offering, over your offerings. So God remembers and says, wow, this guy, why did you do this? Celebrate your sacrifice. God, is God here? He's not talking about you. He's talking about God celebrating your sacrifice. I was telling my friend one day, we were talking about Solomon. And I told my friend, I said, see, people think that guy doesn't have sense. Even before God gave him wisdom, he had sense. I said, how do you know? I said, listen, this guy comes to the altar, slaughters 1,000 cows at once. Sir, 1,000 cows cannot enter this hall. 1,000. And one man steps on the altar. People were bringing 1, 2. He just kept quiet. When they finished, he said, okay, it's my turn. He stood on the altar, slaughtered 1,000 cows at once. Finished slaughtering it. The Bible said that same night, God didn't waste time. That same night, God showed up. Oh boy, wake up. What happened? What kind of embarrassing offering is that you gave me? I can imagine Solomon wipe his eyes. God, is you? God, I thought nothing moves you. That small offering I gave has moved you. God said, do you know the last time somebody gave me? Nobody has ever given me such kind of offering. He said, yes, God, I know. I just wanted to show you that I love you. God said, Solomon, what do you want? He said, God, just one thing. If it's for money, my father David left me so much wealth. People don't know how wealthy David was. David was so wealthy that David provided every material used in building the temple of Solomon. I stumbled on a book, And they said they calculated the amount of gold that David invested in the building of the temple. They say he amounted to $60 billion US. And according to the writers of the book, they said that was the total amount of gold produced in the whole world in 2006. And it came from one man's pocket to build for God. That's how wealthy David was. That's how rich David was. So Solomon said to God, God, well, my father left me wealth. It's not about wealth. I know there is something only you have. And anybody you give will have it. God said, what do you want? Give me wisdom and understanding heart. These people I'm ruling, the Bible said they are stiff-necked people. Stubborn people. I've never seen stubborn people like them. So all I need, God, is wisdom to rule them. God said, is that all? He said, is that all? I said, wisdom and understanding I've given you. Nobody will have the kind of wisdom you have. And after you, no other person will have it. Now, God, this is me now thinking in my small head. God was now going. God got to the doors. Did this boy say he has wealth? Let me go back. Solomon, did you say you have wealth? Solomon said, yes, my father left wealth for me. God said, Solomon, do you know I own the cattle upon 1,000 hills? Solomon said, yes, I know. Do you know gold and silver belongs to me? Solomon said, I know, it's okay. I want to show you that I own everything. I will give you wealth that nobody has ever had. And after you, nobody will ever have it. Oga, no matter how big, Eremos, 3 Eremos, equal 3 Dangote equals to 1 Eremos. Bring Eremos, bring Jeff Bezos. Anybody you think that have money, put their money together, sir. You cannot compare the wealth of Solomon. Maybe you don't know how rich Solomon is. Solomon was so wealthy that the people working for him work once in a year and they are paid. That's how wealthy he was. Once in a year and they are paid. They are paid. The Bible says when the Queen of Sheba came, he saw the organization in the house, in the palace of Solomon. The Bible says she fainted. He said, Solomon, half of what I'm seeing was not told me. In fact, she sat down. She was sitting down and ordered them to bring gold from her kingdom to Solomon. She saw wealth and she was blown away. And then Solomon was so wise. Those of us who live with one woman can tell you what we are going through. Every married man here, you know the brain you crack to manage one woman. Oh God, this guy managed 1,000. That's how wise he is. And you know, and look at the wisdom of Solomon, sir. Solomon did not marry 1,000 women because he was looking for women to sleep with. No, sir. Marrying 1,000 women was also wisdom. Do you know why? If you are a king and you are giving Solomon trouble, he will come and marry your daughter. So when you think of fighting Solomon, you say, my daughter is there. I can't find my son-in-law. You will drop your sword. The other one is you are giving him too much trouble. He will come and marry your daughter. All the 1,000 women, all of them are princesses. He married daughters of kings. So no king will fight him because his grandchildren will be there. Or the daughter is there. So that's the wisdom, the level of wisdom this guy had. It was not because he was looking for a woman to sleep with. Because if he's looking for a woman to sleep with, it would take him 3 years plus to go around. 365 days in a year. 1,000. It would take him up to 3 years. So it was wisdom. That's why for 40 years he ruled. There was no war. Because everybody that will fight him is his in-law. You want to go and fight your in-law? No, now. You come and fight your in-law. As you carry yourself, sir, okay, your in-law. He said, is this in-law thing? This in-law. You will drop your sword and you will negotiate. In-law, how do we solve the problem? That's the wisdom, the level of wisdom Solomon had. And how did this start, sir? It started when God is claimed at his sacrifice. When God shouted, ha! What kind of thing? Why did you give me this sacrifice? Tonight, I want you to learn how to make demands on God because of your sacrifice.